Have you ever felt like there's just never enough time, saying, I'll rest when I succeed? I lived in that constant state of not enough time for years. And here's what I discovered. That feeling wasn't just stress. It was actually a warning sign that I'd created the perfect system for keeping myself stuck as I clean and cook a healthy meal.
What would it feel like to look back and realize you spent the best years of your life in a constant state of stress, missing out on the very freedom you were trying to create? And this isn't just my story. It's happening to entrepreneurs everywhere. According to a recent founders report, over 1/3 of entrepreneurs experience burnout. So if you're just starting out and you're not aware of how to prevent it, there's a significant chance you may experience it too. As someone whose career centers on helping others develop healthy coping strategies and self-care practices, it was inevitable that I'd need to make self-care a priority for myself in a way that doesn't involve guilt anymore. The truth is, most of us are chasing success while running on empty, and we don't even realize we're doing it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the real root cause behind that insatiable need to constantly work and feel time pressure. Plus, you'll walk away with practical steps you can start using today to build your business more sustainably. Because here's what I've observed in my own experience. Whether it's that drive to constantly work, feeling overwhelmed, or that constant not enough time feeling, these patterns often point to something deeper that's worth exploring. Before I restarted my YouTube journey while working as an associate therapist, I worked a standard 8 to 5 for a university. And because back then I really wanted to pursue YouTube to create additional income, I remember always feeling the pressure of not having enough time. And this often left me irritated and resentful. So every spare moment I had, I was cramming in time to work on YouTube scripts or something related to my channel. The pursuit of my dreams was actually making me feel miserable, which from a therapeutic perspective was a clear sign that something needed to change. So I took a few months off from posting and reevaluated my whole YouTube practice. And I decided to explore where this need for constant pursuit of success came from using the same frameworks I use with some of my clients. And this exercise completely changed my trajectory in building a business on YouTube, especially as a multi-passionate creator. In therapy, we use cognitive behavioral therapy, known as CBT, which is one of the most evidence-based interventions for addressing various life changes. CBT helps us recognize and reframe unhelpful thoughts that influence our emotions and behaviors, ultimately shaping our life outcomes, showing us that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors all influence each other in a continuous cycle. And this cycle ultimately reinforces our patterns and determines many of the outcomes that we experience in life. So a real life example might look something like this. If someone has a thought, I have too many passions, I'll never be able to succeed in merging them together and starting a business, this would typically lead to feelings like maybe defeat or failure. And those feelings then drive behaviors like avoiding business-related actions or not pursuing opportunities. Ultimately, this cycle produces the results of staying exactly where they are. So let's say that would be working an 8 to 5 job that lacks purpose or fulfillment. So CBT can help you understand what's contributing to your current circumstances. But here's what I think is the crucial question. Where does this cycle actually begin? What sets these automatic thoughts in motion? And this is where Alfred Adler's work becomes invaluable. According to Adler, our earliest memories, what he called early recollections, hold clues to the beliefs and goals that shape our lifestyle, meaning our unique way of navigating the world in pursuit of belonging and significance. These early interpretations often shape our private logic, the automatic thoughts and internal rules we carry into adulthood. That's why I often blend CBT with Adlerian principles, a little therapeutic cocktail, if you will. And this integration helps clients not only recognize and challenge unhelpful thought patterns, but also trace their origins, gaining deeper insights into the why behind their behaviors. So for example, I use this approach to explore why I felt compelled to use every ounce of time productively and why I constantly multitask, patterns that eventually lead to chronic hustle and frustration. So I asked myself 3 key questions. What did I hear about work growing up? What did I see about work growing up? And what did I experience about work growing up? What I discovered was that in my family system, it was frowned upon to ask for help. Independent people were supposed to do everything by themselves. And I learned that constant work meant survival, and that constant work was associated with the word good or proud. I realized that I wasn't originally pursuing work to feel meaningful and fulfilled. I was pursuing work out of fear. And answering these questions opened my eyes to why I felt so guilty if I had the thought of asking someone for help, whether that be professionally or personally. Understanding where these feelings originated helped me realize that one of the ways I pursue a business as a multi-passionate creator while having another job and handling household obligations without burning out was developing the willingness and the strength to ask for support. I had to rewrite the meaning of what work looked like. Me asking for help is not something I need to feel guilty or shameful about. Instead, it's a way for me to take care of my mental health. It's a way for me to be more creative and pursue business with joy. This allowed me to make a crucial mindset shift. Instead of pursuing work from a place of fear or scarcity, I realized there's no need to work from fear because I am safe, I've always been safe, and I have the intellectual and emotional resources to remain safe. I now see that I don't need to pursue dreams or this great way of living because I already have it. So I started being gentle and compassionate with my self-talk. I've found that having a few grounding phrases, ones that genuinely resonate, can be powerful when breaking away from old beliefs. These are kind of like mental anchors I keep in my back pocket. Some things I love to say when I notice my mind and body starting to feel anxious about working on goals for my business are, is this a 911? Meaning, is this truly an emergency? Is someone's life truly at stake? I also like to remind myself, my creativity thrives when I allow my mind and body to rest. I have everything I need in this moment, and my abundance is infinite. All right, so now it's time to make it practical. So let me first start off with an example. I've always eaten pretty clean, and I like to prep most our food for the week. But if I prepped all the food for the week all by myself, this would consume significant time. So I needed to look at my environment and resources and realize, okay, I can either ask my husband for help, or maybe we can purchase some pre-prepped meals. So I had asked if he could prep certain meals that he's better at making and that he enjoys more. And he did it. So I am super grateful because it really relieves me from feeling the burden of those additional tasks. And in the beginning, it was really difficult because in most Latin cultures, or at least, being Mexican, the women typically do most household tasks. So just because there is a traditional way of living, it doesn't have to be my way of living or your way if it's not being, unethical, demoralizing, or illegal. So when asking for support, there's a communication formula that we teach clients in therapy. And it usually goes something like this. First, we use I statements because this language allows us to take responsibility for our feelings without blaming others. Second, we focus on specific behaviors because it reduces the chance of accusation or criticism of someone's character. And third, we make clear, specific requests, which is us being assertive in our communication. So when asking for help, let's say with the household chores, it can sound something like, I'm feeling overwhelmed with prepping all the food for the week, and I'd really like to spend some time on my business. Could you help me with the meal prep on Sundays? Or I'm really feeling kind of just all over the place between work and building my business. I'd love your support with the grocery shopping this week so I can focus on my client calls. Or it could look like, I'm feeling overwhelmed with the household chores. What are your thoughts on ordering pre-prep meals this week? Now, here's a little exercise for you. Think of one thing you've been doing alone, let's just say at home, that's starting to feel overwhelming. Now try writing out an I statement using this formula. So I feel, insert an emotion, about, insert the situation, and I'd appreciate your help with, insert a specific request. Then say it out loud or write it in a message you can send. Assertive communication is a great skill for anyone to learn. The next major shift I made and still maintain to prevent reaching the point of burnout is inserting consistent moments of stillness throughout the day based on my energetic pattern. Even when I have this urge to keep going, to keep working. Now, my energetic patterns, what I discovered was that every 2 hours is my natural recharge time. And during most of these recharge moments, I intentionally do not multitask, and this is key. So this could look like, instead of eating while editing my YouTube video, I allow myself to enjoy my food by just eating my food. So let's say I'm eating a chicken salad. I'll pay attention to the sounds of the actual like lettuce kind of just crunching in my mouth. Or maybe I'll even focus on chewing my food more slowly. Or if I just sit outside, this is literally just sitting outside and observing my surroundings, not me being on the phone or drafting for my YouTube script or booking appointments. And this isn't something I try to do. This is my priority to do because I learned that honoring my energy patterns isn't lazy. It's strategic. It's what allows me to show up fully for my business instead of running on empty. And now let's make this practical for you. So let's try something together. It's what I call a stillness scan. So 1, look at your last typical workday. 2, recall where your energy dipped. Was it around mid-morning, early afternoon, evening? And 3, circle just one of those dip times and ask yourself, what would it look like to insert a moment of intentional stillness here? Maybe that's 5 minutes of simply just stepping outside, chewing your lunch without distraction, or laying down and staring at the ceiling without grabbing your phone. You don't have to overhaul your day, just choose one recharge point and see how it feels, making it your priority. And just know that building a business, especially if you're a multi-passionate person, doesn't have to mean sacrifice your well-being. In fact, from everything I've learned, both personally and professionally, the most sustainable success comes from honoring your human needs, not fighting against them. And just remember, you're not a machine. You're a person with energy cycles, emotional needs, and relationships that matter. When you honor these aspects of yourself, you don't just build a business, you build a life you actually want to live in.
All right, everyone. So I hope this video was helpful and I will see you on the next post.